This evening, Guyana Fire Service issues dry season advisory amidst El Niño season. Guyana celebrates inaugural direct flights from Canada, boosting tourism and accessibility. Essequibo Driver placed on bail for sexual misconduct. In the region, US takes on Google. What to know about biggest antitrust trial in decades. And internationally, Libya Floods. Mass burials in eastern city of DERNA. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for September 13, 2023. I'm Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, police are investigating an alleged robbery with violence committed on the Regional Democratic Council building in New Amsterdam, Berbice during the early hours of this morning, Wednesday, September 13. Suresh Sukanandan, a 60-year-old security guard, told investigators that at the time of the alleged incident, he was on duty at the RDC guard hut located on the eastern side of the compound. 3 other security guards were on duty at different locations within the compound. Sukanandan said around 3 a.m., about 4 unidentified men came into the compound from the eastern fence and dealt him one lashed his forehead with an object, causing him to receive injuries. They tied his hands behind his back, duct taped his mouth, and left him in the guard hut. The guard said he later made his way to the front, where he informed his colleagues about what transpired. They untied him and reported the matter. 2 windows on the accounts department on the southern side were opened. Entry was seen to a door on the southern side of the building, and an undisclosed amount of cash was reported missing. The security guard was escorted to the New Amsterdam Public Hospital to seek medical attention. CCTV cameras on the building will assist as investigations continues. On a different note, Guyana celebrated a significant achievement in its aviation and tourism sector by launching direct flights from Canada, a collaboration between Canadian Jetline and Fly Always Air Services. This milestone simplifies travel for the Canadian diaspora and tourists, making it easy to visit Guyana. The grand welcoming ceremony occurred at the Chedijagan International Airport on Tuesday, where the Minister of Public Works, Bishop Juan Edgehill, emphasized the infrastructure developments and improvement at the CJIA, enabling Code F-type aircrafts to land in the country. The new route from Toronto to Guyana, operates by Fly Always, offers bi-weekly flights with a brief stop in the Dominican Republic for refueling purposes. This enhanced connectivity provides passengers with more options and competitive fares. Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Juan H. Waldron, noted the significance of the aircraft stopping in the Dominican Republic following a memorandum of understanding between Guyana and the Dominican Republic for collaboration in tourism sector. The government has prioritized tourism and invested in infrastructure improvements, resulting in an increase in passengers in August of 2023 compared to the previous year. Additional carriers have joined, enhancing connectivity, and cargo operations have grown substantially, reflecting a thriving tourism trade sector. These developments position Guyana as a prominent global tourism and aviation destination, offering convenient access to its culture, natural attraction, and economic opportunities. Direct flights from Canada are significant in realizing Guyana's potential as a premier international destination. In other news, following the extensive dry season we are experiencing, the Guyana Fire Service has issued an advisory providing information on El Niño and its impact on weather patterns, particularly during the dry season. El Niño is an irregular climate pattern that affects ocean temperatures and winds and rainfall patterns in tropical Pacific. The dry season began in July and is expected to continue until December of 2023. The Guyana Fire Service has since responded to over 300 reports of grass and garbage fires. Citizens are encouraged to take precautions on the road and at home to prevent fires during this dry season. Safety tips include avoid parking on dry grass, being cautious with lit cigarettes, not burning household trash in barrels. Additionally, it is advisable to clear dry vegetation from around homes, move flammable materials away from structure, and report any electrical hazards. Furthermore, outdoor burning, particularly for land clearing, should be avoided to prevent forest fires. Finally, citizens are urged to practice fire safety with their families, including escape routes and designated meeting places in emergencies. Stick around when we return. Essequibo Driver placed on bail for sexual misconduct. and police take action against dangerous parking in Georgetown.
Oh gosh, what's this? Me son can't read or spell. Stop! 0 out of 20. Is what I gonna do here?
Let's start improving your child grades today. Register for our primary or nursery department. Hidden Treasures, we're located at 204 E. Charlotte Street between Camp and Alexander. Or contact us at 6490373.
I gonna call them now.
Hidden Treasures, discovering gems in young minds.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
All we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick peas powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radical went to the supermarket and she papa buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. She shaped like a Guyana map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. 52-year-old Essequibo Driver residing at Lot 8, Zorgenvlak, Essequibo Coast, was charged with rape when he appeared at the Charity Magistrates Court on Monday, September 12. Singh appeared before Magistrate Esther Sam, where the charge of rape was read to him. He was not required to enter a plea to the charge. The court heard that the alleged incident occurred between May 31st and June 7th of 2022 in Zorgenvlak and involved a female from Region 2. Despite the severe nature of the accusation, Singh was granted bail in the amount of $150,000. However, he is ordered to maintain a distance of 100 feet from the alleged victim and is prohibited from making contact with her family or her. The case has been adjourned and is scheduled to resume on September 29, 2023 for the disclosure of statements and further legal proceedings. In other news, to address the issue of dangerous parking along main roadways in Georgetown, the Guyana Police Force Traffic Headquarters conducted an enforcement exercise yesterday. During the operation, traffic ranks identified multiple vehicles parked in a manner that posed potential obstruction along Camp Street, a prominent area in Georgetown. These vehicles were found to be in violation of parking regulations and causing inconvenience to both motorists and pedestrians. To rectify this issue, the enforcement team deployed wheel clamps on the vehicles. 11 vehicles were clamped as a result of the exercise, and the respective owners were issued tickets for the offense of leaving motor vehicle in a dangerous position. This initiative serves as part of the ongoing efforts by the Guyana Police Force to enhance road safety and mitigate traffic-related disruptions in the capital city. It also reminds motorists to adhere to parking regulations and ensures that their vehicles are parked safely and carefully to avoid penalties and potential roadway hazards. Don't go away after the break. Libya floods, mass burials in eastern city of DERNA, and Ukrainian deploys rapid growth in receiving military equipment.
Problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. He is credit. And today, all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and poise cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you who don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document planting flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we fry.
boil in oil. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized gear, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness. Or join our Becca Phonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. A blockbuster antitrust trial is underway in Washington, D.C., where the United States Department of Justice and a coalition of state attorney generals have accused Alphabet's Google of unlawfully abusing its dominance in the search engine market to maintain monopoly power. Google has grabbed a 90% market share in search in the US in recent years. This is according to the government's estimate. Al Jazeera's Colin Barker reports.
Think about how you search the web. You pull out your phone and type a question. Chances are you're already using Google. There are other search engines, but 90% of the world uses Google to find the information they want. And search is what makes Google and its parent company Alphabet one of the most profitable firms on the planet. Here's how it works. You want to find that coffee shop. Advertisers, like the nearby ones, have already put in bids for the keywords you're going to look for. If they've bid high enough, or the keywords are specific enough, their business will pop up first. You might go buy a coffee, but when you click the ad, the coffee shop pays Google a fee. That's Google Ads. But as you browse the web using Google, its cookies and bots follow you, building a profile that will target other companies' advertising on other websites to you. You can turn the trackers off, but you probably won't. And it's all extremely profitable. Google made more than $160 billion last year from the ads in search.
But why does Google often come up first when you purchase a new mobile device? According to the US, it's because the company paid Apple, Motorola, Samsung, and others billions of dollars to be the default search option. Google acknowledges the deals, but doesn't specify the terms. The US says that's unfair, so it's using a law from the turn of the 19th century to stop it.
The Sherman Act simply says you cannot have anti-competitive agreements and you cannot monopolize or attempt to monopolize. That's all it says.
The last time the U.S. government took on a tech company this big was in the 1990s. The target was Microsoft, and Bill Gates had to testify that his company wasn't forcing out competing internet browsers. Microsoft lost. It was broken up, then it appealed and paid a penalty. More than a generation later, Microsoft is now Google's toughest search competitor, thanks to new AI-powered search options in Bing.
I think the reason why now is just that we have a more progressive regime that's willing to go after some of these cases. And obviously this was started in 2020, so it isn't the Biden administration alone just going after it. But there's just been a larger push to go after a lot of these tech companies now because they've gotten so large.
Google says it makes a powerful and fair product that helps businesses grow. And if users want to choose a different search tool, they can. But this is just one of several cases the U.S. is making against the giants of Silicon Valley.
Internationally, Libyans have started burying those killed in the tsunami-like flood disaster in the eastern city of Derna. More than 5,000 people have died and at least 10,000 are still missing after heavy rainfalls caused 2 dams to burst. A huge wave of water crashed through the city, sweeping away everything in its path. Al Jazeera's Malik Turan reports.
An unprecedented catastrophe. Entire communities in the eastern city of Derna have been swept away by floods or reduced to rubble. People here are still coming to terms with the aftermath of Storm Daniel. It brought record rainfall and 2 dams holding huge amounts of water burst, sending a giant wave towards the city. This child asks people if they know where his mother is, but no one has seen her. Thousands of others remain unaccounted for. Bodies washed into the sea can be seen in the distance, but it's too dangerous to recover them for now.
Death toll is huge. It might reach 2,000 really, but we don't have a definite number right now.
The loss is being felt across the country. Here, in Martyr Square in the capital Tripoli, flags are flying at half-mast. The government has declared 3 days of national mourning. Many have gathered to pray for those who have died in eastern Libya. Ahmad Khalifa is from Derna. He received news yesterday his sister and her entire family were killed in the floods. He's come here to pray for their souls.
The officials are responsible for all the lives that were lost. Why? Because it was clear that the dams had a problem and needed renovation. There were warnings. Why didn't they fix it? They knew a storm was coming. May God punish all the officials from both sides for this disaster.
Aid from western Libya and a few countries is beginning to arrive at airports in eastern Libya. Prime Minister Abdelhamid Dbeibeh says his government is committed to rebuilding homes that were destroyed.
Today we allocated a budget of more than $515 million to start rebuilding people's lives in the impacted areas. If these funds are not enough to rebuild Derna and the other cities, we will allocate more. Everyone is doing what they can to help.
Libya has two governments, but people here hope that through this tragedy, the country and its rival politicians can finally unite and put its people first. Malik Traina, Al Jazeera, Tripoli.
Finally, the war in Ukraine has led to a rapid growth in industry supplying products and equipment to the military. Among the more obscure products are decoys meant to deceive the enemy and stop them from launching attacks on real guns and vehicles. Al Jazeera's Rob McBride reports.
They are constructed with the utmost care by craftsmen who fully intend for their creations to be blasted to pieces. Placed on the battlefield to look like the real thing, inviting attack from enemy drones and missiles. That would mean they've worked, Petro tells us, and will happily produce more, as many as needed. The operation of this workshop, which remains fairly secretive, is handled by mining and metals conglomerate Metinvest.
Having all these skills and experience, it's not hard to move from steel production to military decoys.
Made to order for Ukraine's military, the requests often change from one month to the next, as ever more sophisticated and expensive equipment arrives from overseas, of which they make cheap copies.
For instance, the real M777 howitzer costs about $2 million, but it costs about $1,000 to make a decoy.
This radar system, price tag $280 million. A fake replica, yours for $2,000. These decoys are also far cheaper than the weapons used to destroy them. This is the unit's trophy collection, bits of drones. This from a Russian-made Lancet or an Iranian-made Shahid, all very real weapons that destroyed themselves, targeting very real-looking fakes. As in previous wars, decoys have been used extensively in Ukraine, such as inflatable ones like this. But the development of high-definition surveillance makes them far less effective than these handcrafted alternatives.
The enemy has many sophisticated drones with better optics, and that capability means we're constantly having to develop.
Before, we would produce artillery just from lengths of plastic, but now we use foam plastic to carve out intricate details.
Ever finer skills required in the ever more demanding craft of deception. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera, Central Ukraine.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Safety B2 Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.